What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be talking about the price of Bitcoin and Chainlink. These are the two coins that I'm most interested in right now. Taking a look at the CryptoWatch asset card list, we can see that Bitcoin is up today, 0.86%, and most of the top cryptos are following Bitcoin to the upside. So far today has been a pretty nice day. Everything is up in the green. Before we get started on today's video, I just want to mention that one of the altcoins that we've been accumulating in Patreon is starting to see a little bit of a breakout. If you guys want to take a look at what other altcoins I'm accumulating that I think have a lot of upside potential, join the Patreon, but make sure you join before the end of the month. At the end of the month, prices will be going up. Now, moving on to the Bitcoin chart, I'm looking at Bitcoin on the daily. In the last video, we were talking about how Bitcoin did see a higher low with lower lows on the RSI, giving us hidden bullish divergence. This played out a little bit to the upside, not much movement for Bitcoin recently. What I also mentioned in the last video is that we did break below the short-term upward sloping trend line, which did put Bitcoin in a little bit more of a neutral spot. We broke below the upward sloping trend line, but we created hidden bullish divergence. So Bitcoin is sitting in a pretty neutral area right now. We might just be looking to consolidate in this range before getting the breakout that we're looking for. If Bitcoin is unable to maintain the 21-day EMA, and we start to confirm daily candle closes below it and we break below the upward sloping trend line, that's when you could see prices like 11,000 to 10,500 get hit. And as long as we're above the 21-day EMA, then I'm going to remain generally bullish on Bitcoin, though things do seem a little bit more neutral right now. So I'm kind of just looking for Bitcoin to consolidate within this range until further notice, until we see some actual movement here for Bitcoin. Also, just to mention, the S&P 500 is now trading at all-time high levels. It has broken above the February high before the global pandemic, and we are now at all-time high prices, trading around 3,420. If the S&P 500 can confirm this breakout, let's say we pull back to previous resistance, confirm it as support and bounce, or we just continue up from here, I do think that this is going to cause a lot of positive sentiment in the crypto market. Speculators will be more comfortable betting on Bitcoin because it is generally seen as a speculative asset. So this all-time high break is very interesting, and I'm going to be looking out to see how this affects the crypto market moving forward. Now, moving on to Chainlink. I'm looking at Chainlink on the daily chart. Things are looking pretty interesting. What I like about this chart right now is that we have two very uniformed parabolic advances. If we take a look at the first major parabolic advance after the breakout of the all-time high, if you take out your fib retracement and you go from the last major swing low at $4.30 to swing high at $8.90, we can see that Chainlink did come back to retest the 50% retrace with a quick dip below the 21-day EMA. After that, we quickly recovered and ran up for the next major parabolic advance. And what we can see on this one is if you go from that major swing low to the next major swing high, Chainlink did come back to retest the 50% retrace, just below the 50% retrace, with a quick dip below the 21-day EMA as well. So we have two very similar parabolic advances, very uniformed parabolic advances. And this is what you want to see during parabolic trends. For example, Bitcoin in 2017, when it was at $890 and it ran up to just below 3,000, it pulled back to the 618 golden retrace, right around the 618 golden retrace, with a quick dip below the 21-week EMA. And then after that, from that swing low to the next swing high, Bitcoin pulled back to the 618 golden retrace again, very similar structure, and touched right off the 21-week EMA. Both parabolic advances had a very similar, very uniformed structure, and that is what you want to see during these parabolic trends. You want to see that momentum keep up as it's moving forward. And so far, that is what we're seeing for Chainlink. And something else I've been talking about is the 21 EMA on the 4-hour chart, which has been a pretty good indicator. If we go back to the last major parabolic advance, after the all-time high break, we used the 21 EMA on the 4-hour chart as support on the way up, and once we started to confirm 4-hour candle closes below it, that's when things started to get bearish. Then we broke out of this downward sloping channel, confirmed support along it, and then we never fell below it until we ran all the way up to $20, used it as support all the way up until we got a huge rejection candle on the 4-hour and closed the 4-hour below it. Since then, things have been a little bearish. We've seen a nice correction, and now we're seeing Chainlink starting to catch up with this moving average once again. We're getting some chop above the 21 EMA, below the 21 EMA, back above it, below it. And if we can start to catch up with this moving average and start to trend above it and hold it as support, this is when you would be looking for the next major push to the upside. And this is what I'm looking for right now. If Chainlink is unable to do this, if we come back to this area where we found resistance here on the way up, some support here on the way up, around $14.50, and we break below that, that's when you could see us retesting the lows once again. This horizontal resistance flipped as new support is very critical. That's kind of where we're holding above right now. So keep your eye on this area. If we fall below it, that's when you could see tests down to the lows once again. But as of right now, I am remaining bullish on Chainlink. You see that we do have a falling wedge. We broke out to the upside of the falling wedge. And so far, we've confirmed support above previous resistance after the breakout of the falling wedge. So it does seem like Chainlink is getting a nice recovery here. We'll see how it plays out. Now, looking at the daily chart, the purple 10-day EMA. The 10-day EMA is acting similar as the 21 EMA on the 4-hour chart. So another moving average indicator you could look at is the 10-day EMA for support. This is where we found support on the way up. The 10-day EMA acted as a great support target on the way up. And if we can flip the 10-day EMA into support right here, that would very likely usher in the next major push to the upside. And as of right now, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Chainlink to continue this next major parabolic advance. Now, of course, a lot of people are going to be asking, Kev, what's the next upside target if we do get this bounce? Well, if you go from swing high to swing low with your fib extensions, again, you could be looking to target just below $25, around $24.42 on the next major parabolic advance. Of course, guys, these things take time to develop. The last post I made on this channel, when I was talking about Chainlink going potentially parabolic, as we're discussing right now, people commented the next day, and they were like, Kevin, you said Chainlink was going to go parabolic. Why isn't it mooning right now? Guys, you have to have patience. These things take time to develop, right? If I say Chainlink is going parabolic, I don't mean that within the next few hours. I'm just saying in general, like looking at the daily chart, the weekly chart, it seems like Chainlink does have the momentum to go parabolic once again, but you got to have at least some degree of patience, and you have to consider the time frames that I'm looking at. I'm looking at the daily chart. I'm not saying that Chainlink is going to go parabolic in a day. Over the next few weeks, we might be looking for that next major push, right? You got to have patience. I think this market does have the momentum to make another push to the upside. Chainlink holders have been making a lot of noise on social media. Of course, after the all-time high break, then you saw that emotional feedback where more people got into the market. And now that we've seen a dip, I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on Chainlink to see if it's going to make another major breakout. And I think emotional feedback is going to be playing a huge role here. And a lot of new market participants are probably going to jump into the market here if we do start to see moves to the upside. So if you guys found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to sign up with Patreon before the end of the month. Check out what other altcoins I'm accumulating. And last but not least, sign up for the CryptoWatch platform. It is the platform that I use in all of my videos. It is my preferred platform for charting and trading. Click that tutorial, get yourself set up, and I will see you guys in the next video.